Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Film Alchemist podcast, the show where we look at movies we love, break them apart, to find out what gives them their magic. I'm your host, Josh Griffey, joined as always by my old retired golf cart jockey and co-host,
Alex Dandino.
All right, guys, before we get on with today's movie, a little bit of business. Guys, we're on Patreon. Patreon.com/Film Alchemist Podcast is the best way to help us give you the show that you want, guys. For as little as $1 a month, you can dive on in. The water's fine. See what we're doing over with our community right now. We have some awesome patrons over there. We have really cool stuff. You can vote on bonus episodes, likes. And as you climb our official Highlander tier system, you get to actually select the movies that you want us to discuss in a patron-exclusive film library. So, guys, it's the best way to help us. It helps us help you get the show that you want. You get to hear the movies you want, and that's all that we all want. Again, that's patreon.com/Film Alchemist Pod. Okay, make sure to go to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Film Alchemist. Video versions of most of the pods over there, along with some cool new stuff that we have rolling out soon, hopefully this upcoming month. You can email us, filmalchemistpod@gmail.com. You can find us on all the social media you're on. We're easy to get a hold of, and we love to hear from you guys. All right. Let's go down to the land of two things that I'm not particularly fond of. Olds and Florida.
Yes, if you ever wanted to combine two things that Griffey is not into at all into a movie, this is it.
I feel like there's an attitude with a lot of old folks, right? And it's not all old folks.
There's
don't
an
get
attitude
me wrong.
with Floridian old folks.
Exactly, right? It's the Florida stank. No, don't get me wrong. The soulful old, librarian man who's got, real wisdom to impart. Love that guy, right? The old grandma who wants to, make cookies and knit sweaters and read stories, watch Golden Girls with me. Love those olds. The let's get leathery and party too much.
And just, this is the thing that whenever we talk about Jabuff, this is the thing that I always
whoa.
Where your life will
right.
go. That's the problem.
Let's bring it back on Jabuff slander, right? I'm not here for Jimmy Buffett slander. We're here to talk about a film called Some Kind of Heaven.
Some Kind of Heaven.
Again, this entire month, where the pod gets real, Talking Documentaries was selected by one of our Highlanders over on Patreon, Heath Benfield. Thank you so much, sir. Again, patreon.com/Film Alchemist Pod. We got to make some money so we can go live in this fucking Disney for the old. Alex, this was another one I had never seen. I think this documentary was exceptional in a lot of ways. I really liked spending time with these characters, right? The characters were phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I think the documentary is a bit of a rope-a-dope, though, right? Because as I watched it, right, it starts off and it's like, here's this place that me, Josh Griffey, hates on a visceral level, right? There's a lot of clubs, a lot of golf cart driving,
yes,
a lot of that kind of shit. And I was like, ooh, gross, right? And it feels like they're setting you up, right? That what we're going to get is that this looks like Disneyland for the old, but really it's a house of whores. And that's not really the documentary we get, right? The villages as they were, this massive, what was it, 130,000?
It is the world's largest retirement community.
Yeah.
It's like
I got to stop referring to them as old.
And the 20, yeah, so it started with 300 people. In the documentary, they say it started with 300 people, and it's 130,000 now. 800 people, sorry.
Oh, my God. The sweats. Watching this documentary made my anxiety very high for that reason. I was like, imagine being in this. You want to know what's really funny? Not to out her, but I am 95% sure that my own mother looked into moving to the village.
Oh, Zana, come on.
There was a chance
Dude,
that I
she'd
could
fit
have.
Right in.
My mom would love the villages. And there's a chance that I could have been partying at the villages someday in my future. So I got a little sweaty watching this.
It's kind of funny. So I actually found out. Like I've said, I think every episode this month, possibly, so far, I work in documentary TV and film. I actually know the guy who shot this. His name is Dave Bolin. He's the DP of the movie.
Hell yeah. Beautifully shot film, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
Well done, Dave.
I am totally name dropping. Dave Bolin, you're the best. And I'm totally going to send you this episode when we're done recording it. But I actually texted him after I watched it. He was like, dude, I just watched Some Kind of Heaven. It was so great. I'm like, I'm about to podcast about it. Can you give me like one factoid? And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, man. Well, one, thanks for watching the movie. I was like, you don't have to thank me for watching your movie, man. I'm totally watching it anyways. And he's like, factoid. The director, Lance Oppenheim, he and Lance apparently have been making movies since they were 14 years old.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Those of you out there who are trying to make your own movies, just know your friends are your best allies, always. That was his factoid, though.
Awesome. That's really cool, man.
But yeah, it is a very strange movie. It kind of is this almost, it's odd because it follows like characters specifically, but it does this sort of just like day in the life thing in a lot of ways. And yet also contextualizes this day in the life with like how kind of difficult it is to live in this community almost. It's peculiar.
What is funny, right? And I think this is one of those things on the trailer and poster of movies where nothing happens, but film Twitter people are desperate to say they love it. They would say something like, it's meditative. And I was like, Jesus H. As soon as you see that, you're like, good Lord. Like, all movies should be somewhat meditative.
Shouldn't be meditating on any theme or plot in a movie.
Every movie should give you some fucking kernel, right? Right. Killer Clowns from Outer Space makes me meditate in a way around, Alien, whatever. Neither here nor there. And I feel like this is a movie that I think that applies to, that I wouldn't say in like a condescending way, because I think you could make the argument. This isn't a movie where things happen. This isn't a movie about people who have achieved great work, and we got to learn about that. This isn't about the villages and the business of the villages and how the villages came to be. The villages, in fact, actually essentially matter nothing to the plot at all, right?
Yeah.
I would argue. What the movie is about, right, is these four elderly people, right? Mm-hmm. And watching them move to this place where they think all of a sudden the thing that has never been fulfilled in their life will magically be filled.
Yeah.
And what happens when it doesn't? And you take away the pageantry and the goofy ass downtown that looks like Mayberry with made up fucking stories and all the fucking drunk old people honking on golf carts, right? And these people are just, and there's also a real element of knowing that these people are near the end of their lives, right? That's not the movie I thought I was signing up to watch.
Yeah, I was honestly expecting a big expose about like the retirement community industry. Because for those of you who don't know, like all of us have had grandparents. I don't know if some of you guys have grandparents who lived by themselves. My grandparents, my mom's parents moved to a retirement community when they were but it was one where they had it was right next to a health center and they had to buzz in every morning. The whole thing's a real racket in a lot of ways. Oh man! So that's what I was expecting walking in. Especially because the title's Some Kind of Heaven. I'm like, there's got to be just some
you just think it's... And it just starts with synchronized golf cart driving and old people
every
cheerleader.
Time especially the way these kinds of movies begin, every time I always think about the opening of Blue Velvet, where it's I know that's weird, but it's this beautiful, pristine...
You're saying Dennis Hopper would join the fucking Jibbuff Club?
I mean, that would make Blue Velvet so much more palatable if he was a huge Jabbuff fan and he said in the
just Dennis Hopper driving around creating terror and mischief to the soundtrack.
What's your favorite song? Fuck that, Cheeseburger in Paradise. Yeah, that's the movie I wanted. But
now I want that movie too.
I think a lot about the opening though, where it's this beautiful, pristine Americana, and then underneath is these termites slowly eating their way through everything. Somebody dies. It starts the whole movie off. But that is exactly what I expected. Not even close to what I got. There are hints of that, but it all comes from very specific instances that are not at all a matter of fact. Boy, this retirement community is quietly killing people. It's not even close.
They don't say anything bad about the place in the whole movie.
It's actually
That's
really
not
interesting.
The movie it is. What I think it becomes, right, is that place operates as this weird kind of purgatory.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's these people, So let's go story by story, right? So we see Barb, right? We have Reggie and Ann, who are the married couple.
Yeah, Reggie and Ann are the married couple.
Dennis is the band guy.
Dennis, who's the player.
Yeah, he's the Nomadland character of the movie.
And then Barb.
But I think what happens is they use these characters and they go to this place thinking, my whole life hasn't been exactly what I hoped. When I come here, all of it will be solved. And I think very much like actual Disneyland, right? You go, and from far away, you're like, look at the beauty and the majesty. And when you get up close to everything, you're like, it's just kind of cheap illusion, right? And it's long and it's hot and it's sweaty and everyone is there trying to get a piece of magic. So you're just in line for 2 hours sweating on other people, listening to other fucking kids cry. And you're like, Disneyland sucks. Disneyland is hell on earth. Let's just start there. And grown-ups, don't just go there without kids. You can do better. All right, diatribe aside.
Yeah, don't get into that.
But I'm saying that's the same concept, right? It's the most magical place on earth. I'm going to go to the happiest place on earth, and my family's going to love it. And there's no fucking way that your vacation's ever as magical as you think it's going to be. Because when you have something magical, or as they say in the advertisement for the villages, this is the fountain of youth. You know what happens? 130,000 other motherfuckers come there, and it sucks, right?
Yes.
And so now we take time and we break down these 4 very disparate journeys, right? Yeah. The one that I love the most is Barb.
Barb's my favorite too.
It made me fucking so sad and pissed that by the end of the movie, she hadn't gotten her happy ending. Yeah. And I think you could argue none of them had, but I wanted Barb to have it.
I think you can make the argument none of them have. Barb's the one who deserved it the most. Like Barb planned to come down with her husband. Like Barb ended up showing up as a widow, not realizing like she had put together.
Her husband died right after they moved to the villages, right?
Yeah, like
and so because of that, she had lost all the money and couldn't move out. Is that the setup?
Yeah, there was a huge financial issue, so she works full time again. I don't remember what her job is, but like she works full time again, and she's just trying to find somebody to spend some time with. Like it's not even a matter of like friends or anything like that. She needs a romantic partner. She needs somebody who it's the most like purgatorial story we have.
Yeah.
In this is like she feels stuck. And it's not stuck in the way that like, you know, you're like, oh man, I'm just like stuck in my hometown. Like she's stuck in this place that is meant to be kind of this like odd waiting station that is meant to be where you're supposed to wait with someone that you really love. You're waiting to go together. And I feel like that's how Barb frames it a lot. And that I think is what ends up being so emotional about her journey is like, she's just trying to find that thing, man. Yeah, and she's putting herself out there too.
I think that's a great way to say it, right? It's not only that thing. I think there's just this, she led a good life, right?
Yeah.
And sadly, it's all of us people that are married and have kids and shit. I know this is a nightmare we all share is what happens if your partner just passes away, is taken from you?
I think about it constantly.
And you're just the one that's left, right? And what do you do? And anything you do, is that dishonoring the memory? And so Barb is really stuck in this weird and emotional place. And then it feels like everyone she meets is some kind of just fucking walking hard on, right? Lady and man, they're like these weird, they're like the little kids in Pinocchio that turn into donkeys, right? Like they're all just like, let's get drunk and fuck.
Well, actually there's this new show on HBO Max called Fuckboy Island, and I'm like, oh, so they're all fuckboys.
And it's the villages. And it's just
the villages. I mean, it's just all these dudes.
It's called Fuckboy Island, the saggiest balls. No, I mean, this is a real thing, though, because I have a friend who works in a nursing home community, and she's like, the amount of fucking these people do. It's like, insane. You think they're all just, like, shuffling around like in the movie. She's like, they're trying to fuck all the time. And pharmaceutically now, they're juiced up. And the thing that kills you about Barb's story is when she meets the guy at the golf cart. Oh, my God. Yep. Again, just people recreationally driving golf carts around is something that I suffer in Indiana.
Not only that, like, the golf carts she's, like, inspecting are, like, just, like, come on, guys. Don't try to make it seem cool.
Exactly, right? Like, there's a dad in my neighborhood who just rides, like, this fucking little electric scooter. Not with his son, right? Like, his son should be out driving around and enjoying it, but no, he's got to drive. And every night I'm on my porch reading, right, is like the sun is just right. And I hear that, and here he comes. And every night he gives me this fucking wink and a nod, and thinks that I think he's cool and doesn't realize
you
I
just want to throw a rock.
I'm just praying for my son to have thrown a pebble in the road. But like there's a sad and patheticness to that. I just want a golf cart. Like, there's a family that just drives around my neighborhood every night while the rest of us take walks with our dogs or whatever. They just drive in a golf cart playing terrible music and yelling at each other, right? And I was like, right. So I hate golf cart things too. But this is Barb's story, not Griffey's. And Barb finds this guy and hits it off. And it's the moment, because watching Barb do the tambourine thing was just a real low point, right? It's real fucking sad.
Yeah.
And stupid, and you're like, why would anyone want to fucking smack their head on a tambourine with fucking leathery skinned weird like swinger club? Like, all right. But when she talks to this guy and when she goes to the hairdresser, there's a real light in her eyes. Mm-hmm. Like, this could be the guy. And you hear her, she has this insane excitement under her voice, but she's trying not to admit how excited she is. And when you find out the guy's still doing other dates and he's still like rubbing just up on the ladies. Yeah, because he makes 800 gallons of Margarita. It's just fucking, it's sad, man. And I don't begrudge that man his good time, right? He's not
good time and his
he's
trash
not like a cheating husband or whatever.
No, but
it shows you this point though, right? There's a real thing in this documentary, Arrested Development, right? What did you think? Like, these old guys that are like, now's my time. It's spring break again, even though they're old as shit.
I don't know if Oppenheim meant to make the movie this way, but like, for me, the concept and the like real thesis of the movie is like, we all are supposed to have our shit together when we're older, and like, this movie pretty much puts a nail on the head that like, people so don't have their shit together that they literally go live in Disneyland to avoid like any form of responsibility.
I mean, you're an adult now. You're a dad and a husband. And I think me and you talk about this a lot, how we're constantly shocked how little clue we have about what's going on or how to handle it.
Nothing.
And I think that's only logical. It carries out through the rest of your life.
Well, and that's the thing is like, you assume later on in life, at least, I like to think, I can't be at almost 35 the only, I can't be this inexperienced still and not assume I'll get some experience. It's insane though to watch that movie and realize like, oh my God, like there's a chance you never figure it out, like fucking Van guy. Like,
not only a chance, but I feel like probably most, and this is the thing, right? You can figure it out like Barb did.
Yeah.
And it can get taken away. And I think this is but there is this like weird old partying hard-on thing. Like, we'll get to that with Dennis. Like, we'll save Dennis. And there is a thing, I think we all imagine this as we're young, like, we'll be the cool old person. I'm not going quietly into the night, right? I'm going out screaming and raging and doing Jaeger bombs. And then you see that on video.
It's kind of tragic, man. It's really sad.
It's a little less cool than like me and my friends always be like, yeah, we'll be the fucking old men together. We'll go to the bars. We'll drink these kids under the table, and they'll be like, those old dudes are cool. And you're all of that is a just Disney
like fantasy. That's to me like that's like the Reggie and Ann story. That's the part that you're like, man, it is not cool at all to be this way. Like,
yeah, I mean,
Reggie is,
but to finish Barb out though, right? What did you make of Barb's acting moment?
Oh, man.
That's a weird club to join, right?
I mean, it's a weird club to join, and I like that everyone's doing just dramatic readings. Like, no one's trying to be funny. I think that's a really interesting...
Yeah. They all have a lot of heavy shit, I'm sure.
Yeah, like, somebody did a fucking, like, I think A Few Good Men. Like, that's the first guy that we see.
It's the one scene where you're like, there's no fucking American flag tank tops in the whole shot. You're like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, yeah, for real. But no, Barb's like moment is so. I think because we saw this journey, like Barb's moment, I can't remember what her.
She talks about a squirrel, right? Like her mom.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't know what play that's from, but it was so much more. It was so much more emotional, given that we had gone through all this journey with her, and like.
Barb had really actual chops. Like, she really brought.
She's very good. I think that's the thing that I liked is like her silver lining is. She might not have found the man, but she found something she really loves to do, maybe.
But I think Barb in this story, you can just read so much on her as she tries to remain stoic.
Yeah.
And in that scene, she lets out what she's really feeling, and it's just about a fucking squirrel. But it was really great. And what I take from Barb's story, right, is that last shot, they do this amazing wide shot where she's just dancing by herself.
Yep.
And what I think you love about Barb is that she hopefully is what most of us will be when we're older. Like, life's going to take things away. And the longer you live, the more tragedy you're going to experience, most likely, right?
Right.
And what I love about Barb is that she seems like she'll be this curmudgeon-y old East Coast lady at the start, but she's still out there fucking trying to be happy.
She's trying, man.
Because
she's
we only get
hard.
X amount of time, and she's fucking going for it. And that final shot of her dancing is just beautiful, because there's some really tough shots at the Jimmy Buffett thing, right? She's trying so hard to pretend that Jimmy Buffett is palatable and that these fucking trasheritas are palatable.
Yeah, she's trying so hard to make everything seem good.
And when she sees that guy rubbing up on the weird, super flexible old lady, right, where that like fucking ogre of a man is just like looking like he's going to collapse and teabag her. That was a weird scene. But when they do these shots of him like rubbing up on that lady and Barb just looking over, and
they
you
cut
see
it back to her. Yeah.
And it's so hard, but I think Barb is this kind of avatar for, just keep chugging, man. Keep chugging.
I agree.
I love so Barb, too. Man. I hope Barb is happy as fuck.
I hope Barb found some love at some point.
I loved Barb. She was great. Now let's talk about all right, dealer's choice.
No, we got to save the best. We got to save the worst for last. Let's talk about Reggie and Anne first.
Yeah, so Reggie and Anne are a different story in a way, right? Which is, Anne seems like she was like the one who had her shit together, pounded through it. They built a life. This was supposed to be their golden years.
Yeah.
This story to me is all about what happens if you give a lot of yourself, right, to build something. That's what marriage is, she says that one line that I thought was pretty accurate is people say it's 50-50. It's more like 80-20, right? Like you're always giving and giving and giving and giving if you're doing relationship, right? And what happens if your partner just is like, that's not enough for me anymore? And they literally go off the fucking that scene when Reggie rolls up in the golf cart and just stops and gets sprinkled in the face and he goes, woo! Me and Amy watched that like 10 times in a row. I even posted it on the Discord.
Yeah.
Because I was
on the Discord,
fucking, I thought I was going to throw up laughing.
It was hilarious.
I thought that shit was so funny. He's doing Tai Chi in a thunderstorm, and I was like, Reggie's the shit. And by the end of the movie, you just go, Reggie is shit.
Reggie is shit.
Reggie is shit.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't know. Do you feel like Reggie was relatable at all, man?
I mean, the concept, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a level to that. There's a level to it that's relatable because there is this like sort of Peter Pan complex, I'm assuming, when it comes to like you're in a place that's built to like literally whatever wanton desire you have as an old person, like you can kind of do whatever you want. Like
this is kind of the trashy Walmart Eyes Wide Shut party.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, it's literally an Eyes Wide Shut party for old people that like have like no concept of what's like classy or cool or anything.
It's the early bird orgy special.
But that I think is like kind of one of those things where like Reggie's story reminds me of, yeah, it's just like tragically hip old people who.
But he's on YouTube. His wife found out he got busted for drugs on his YouTube channel.
Because he went on, like, I think that's the other thing, too, is, like, the whole story, like, I felt so, like, Anne is just, like, Anne clearly wants to live, like, an enjoyable existence in this community. And this guy wants to, like, whoop it up, like, do something different every night, like, do his thing. Like, he does not understand the concept of what this is supposed to be. So instead, he takes it to the nth degree and, like weed, whatever, it is what it is. But, like, when you find out he got caught with like 2 grams of cocaine, you're like, Jesus Christ, guy, what are you doing?
$5 worth of cocaine. That's Florida cocaine. No big deal.
$5 worth of cocaine.
They do this shot in the movie
what does that really
a bunch, right? Which is they'll show an activity happening, and in the dead center of the frame is back of someone's head, right? And we are, I'm assuming, to look through their eyes or, think in their headspace is what they're watching, man. Right. One of the first things we see is him singing the praise of Anne is, oh, she's an athlete, she's this, she's that. Playing this fucking paddleball game or whatever, right? Reggie's not her doubles partner. He's not a part of that. And I think there's something with Reggie that I latched onto, which is when you move to this giant fucking homogenized center, right? Like, you are immediately struck by, wow, it is 99.9% just fucking old white people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everyone looks the same in all the B-roll footage. Like, they showed the church, you're like, good Lord, look at all those clones. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody just looks like leather.
They all just look alike, and everyone's doing the same shit. And I think there's something you see in these old people in this movie that they're all so desperately trying to find something that makes them unique in this giant community that is constantly, by its nature, everywhere they go, they're going to be like, fuck, that's the same $5 Target shorts I wear. Or, fuck, that guy's eating the same tenderloin on Thursday that I eat. We look alike. Our wives had the same haircut. Like, everything is reminding them that they are not unique and special, which is probably not how you want to end your life and be like, I'll just be another person that's forgotten when I'm dead. And sadly, that's probably the lot for almost everyone who's ever lived, right? And even the people that are remembered, it's not really them. It's, the
but
stories
it is
they tell.
But there's just like this tragic pursuit, like with Reggie and Anne's story. Reggie's particularly is just this like tragic pursuit of not youth. Like, that's the other thing too, is like, I don't think he gives a shit about being young again or anything like that. It's this tragic.
There is that moment where he's just like, happy anniversary, I'm going to go have a jack off and a nap. Like, what is that in pursuit of? He kind of is a spiritual Tai Chi guy, and then he's just like, I need a quick JO and a 30-minute power nap. And I was like, oh, this is not as spiritual as I was led. Because at first you're like, old man doing drugs. You're like, that's my theory.
Well, yeah, like at the beginning of the movie, I thought, oh, he's experimenting with hallucinogenics because that's just like, you're at the end of your time. It's when he gets busted by the cops and he has like cocaine on him, and then he goes to the fucking court hearing and is like such a dick to the judge. Like, dude, shut your mouth. Like, this guy was about to. This guy's about to give you like a free ride for having cocaine and possession of cocaine, and he was just like, "You're the rudest guy I've ever dealt with."
I mean, Florida courts would grind to a halt if they had to try every Floridian who had $5 worth of cocaine. But he just can't. Like, the judge is even like, "You're the rudest man I've ever dealt with."
By the way, in Florida, can you imagine being called the rudest person you've ever dealt with?
Jesus H, that never dawned on me. Good Lord. Well, that's what Amy said. It's like, wasn't he just trying to talk to the judge? And I was like, I do think this judge doth protest too much. He's probably been at one of those ragers with Reggie. And he's like, stop saying I have a shiny, perfect face, you fucking old crank. Stop hitting yourself in the head with a rock.
Like, that was like one of those things where I was like, God, I cannot imagine being a judge in Sumter County and being like, you're the rudest person I've ever dealt with.
That judge's job is probably amazing, though, because imagine you're dealing with all the classic Florida shit, but then everyone's like 80 years old. And it's like, that must just be a fucking madhouse. Like, that should have been a Twilight Zone episode. But this is the thing, though, right? Because this is the only story where we get a tug of war, right, from point of views.
It's truly that, yeah.
Yeah, Anne is really trying to lead this, I just want to be part of the hive existence, right?
Yeah.
She wants to do her little sports, and the scene that just kills you, right, is after Reggie's, like, fucking trial or whatever.
Yeah.
Is Anne at the dance, right? And she's just watching and dancing by herself by the chair, and it's not kind of heroic like Barb's, it's sad. Because we know that Reggie's supposed to be there. And she she doesn't know whether to give up on him or not, right?
Well, this is precipitated by people being like, what are you still doing with this guy? Like, what are you getting out of this anymore? Yeah. That one guy came over. Is that her, like, brother or friend or something? But
he was, like, real forward. Because at first I was like, the mustache gave me I'm about to try to plow guy.
Yeah, that's what I assumed he was trying to do. And then I was
like, wait, is that her brother, the psychiatrist? I was like, this is hard.
I couldn't tell what was going on because I knew he said he was a psychiatrist too, and I'm like, is he
I think it's her brother.
Trying to bang out? Okay, cool. But like,
well, also I'm like, if it's not your brother, maybe keep your fucking mouth shut about how personal you're getting on these attacks. Right? Like, maybe you let Anne deal with her own marriage instead of being like, hey, do you want to come over and watch me drink something? And I'm just going to, like, kneecap your entire fucking life's relationship. I mean, neither here nor there, but still. If it's her brother, that's one thing. If it's just like random mustachio guy.
It was such a, like she's just, again, it was just this, it's this misunderstanding of what what I think is the like Anne particularly is trying to accomplish at the Villages. Like Anne is trying to enjoy what's left of her golden years, so to speak. Like she's trying to enjoy her life. And while Reggie is too, his pursuit of joy is like so destructive and counterintuitive to what the Villages are supposed to provide people.
There is a shittiness to this though, and I feel like we've even slid into it where we're really judging Reggie's life choices. Reggie didn't kill anyone. Here's my thing too. Once you're over 70, you should be legally allowed to do every drug.
That's the thing is like I'm not judging Reggie for that. Like what I'm judging Reggie for is actually getting caught, getting busted. Because I agree, like once you're over 70, like
you shouldn't have to hide cocaine when you're 70.
If you have a ton of cocaine on you and you're over 70, you're like, dude, listen, you're the mule. You're not going to do anything. You're Clint Eastwood. Like, it's fine.
You could be covered in cocaine as long as you're not also covered in blood. Like, you can just do all the drugs.
Once you're past 70, there just shouldn't be a conversation about it. But this is the thing is like, we've talked about this. Like, you and I are married, and like, when we got married, this is, for us, that was a very solemn vow. That was us saying, like, we will, the pursuit is not our own anymore. And I think that's the thing that hurts Anne so much is like it's such a solo pursuit for Reggie, and she's not included. I mean, even at the end there, like their last beat is one of my favorites in the movie is when she finally, like, they're talking and he's like, you know, I'm glad this happened because it brought it closer together. And she goes, no, that is not how I would interpret it. The real best line is
he's like, you had some troubles this year with me and several others. And she goes, others? What? Others? She's like, it was all you. It was 100% you.
And, you know, and then he was like, well, you know, we're not roommates anymore. I rekindled our relationship. She goes, I don't think that's how you want to interpret this. Like, that to me is like, that is the problem. That's what the problem is.
This is the interesting way to look at this, though, right? Do you think it's harder to be Anne or Barb, right? To have loved or lost? Even though they both lost, Anne still has this fucking giant, bulbous husk of what was. You know what I mean? Like, he's hitting himself with rocks and shit, but at least she can probably remember a time it was okay.
I don't know, man. I mean, I guess probably it's harder to be Anne than it would be Barb. I don't know.
I disagree.
I can't make that. I honestly, I cannot make that call. Like, there are two things that are...
Yeah, you take your oath, and that's true, like you said.
They're just too unquantifiable.
Fucking 40 to 50 years down the road, it's hard to imagine. Like, you would hope that your goals will still be aligned and that all will be well, but people fucking change and grow. And just because Reggie's out there fucking, you know, ripping fucking lines and getting sprinkled in golf carts... I mean, this is the thing, though. The movie's asking us, right? Maybe that is what he just needed to do. He feels like he's afraid that he's just like everyone else. That's what he needs. So is that really a less noble pursuit? I mean, it's not noble. That's not the word.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not noble. But see, I understand your point, but the pushback I would give you is like, for him to be in this position of being like, I don't want to be like everybody else. Like, I don't want to experience this place like everybody else. But you still showed up. If you didn't want this to be like everything else, why aren't you in Montana? Why aren't you somewhere else where like literally no one would go? But that I think is the problem. That's why Anne is so frustrated is this is someone who's submitted to this everybody elseness.
Well, think back to that first shot, right? His back of his fucking bald dome. He's watching her play a 4-person game of paddleball. Is it more fair of Anne to just make Reggie the fucking ball boy for her stupid fucking paddleball game than it is of Reggie to be like, hey, I'm going to go JO and nap and, you know, fucking hit this bump?
I think it's unfair that neither of them...
they want things so different.
Yes. I think it's unfair that neither of them are being honest with each other this late in life.
Well, okay, that's a great question to ask you then, right? What's the value of being honest that late in life?
I mean, the value of being honest that late in life is if you're going to live in a place like the Villages, then you get what you want out of the Villages. What she should be doing is saying, I don't want to live like this, so I'm not sure that you and I necessarily align anymore. If they need to go their separate ways to live the rest of their lives as best they can, then by God, do it. Like,
I think he is an integral
he can go off and be a frog, so to speak.
Myth. Well, yeah. I mean, he can go. Yeah, he can just be jumping. I thought the joke was not going to be "I'm here till I croak," but I'm just jumping from lily pad to lily pad.
That's what I thought too.
It turns out that's
the other
what
thing. I'm like, well, that is much more depressing. I guess.
So Reggie wants to be more in the Jabuff category, but I don't think Anne wants to be like Barb. I don't think she wants to.
No, I don't think Anne wants to be like Barb
losing
either,
it and having to go date. And I think there is something to think about. Like, you've just done something a certain way for a long. Like, that's that line in The Departed, right? If this isn't working, you got to break up with me. I'm Irish. We'll ride this thing to the grave.
Yeah.
And I think that sentiment is very prevailing for a lot of people. Maybe not as much from our age and lower.
No, but I think the generation that lives in the Villages, yes, that is a prevailing sentiment.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. It's hard. And I feel bad because the movie really makes us think that Reggie's a cock. And he certainly isn't super respectful of Anne, but also he's high as shit probably almost every time we see him. So that's not fair. We don't see, normal sober Reg watching, fucking the judge in the afternoon with them. And
you got to wonder if there is a normal sober Reg. That's the problem.
I mean, Reggie, assuming he was still alive, probably had to go on, like, ICU watch when he watched the footage back of him saying, "Happy anniversary, I'm going to go jack off." Like, that is the one thing that you're left wondering when this movie ends is, what are these other fucking olds thinking about these people?
I think what I thought at the end is like, these can't be the three craziest stories in this community.
Oh, well, dude, they could have just followed the Jimmy Buffett Club. Or why do they have so many tambourines in the swinging singles club? What are they doing with those fucking tambourines?
Swinging and being single.
Probably not just hitting their own heads with them, you know what I mean?
We got to talk about Dennis.
All right, can we just start with, I got to admit, I'm firmly in the fuck Dennis camp.
Yeah, same.
I think Dennis is...
I don't care how on Front Street you are about like what you want out of the remainder of your life. Fuck you.
Okay, well, let's set up some context before we just fucking bury Dennis in this movie. Not real Dennis. God, that sounds horrible with this movie. I don't know how long ago this came out. That's horrible.
This came out in 2020.
I thought the movie was starting with like a nomad land thing with Dennis, right? That he was a man who he moved here to retire. He didn't have enough. I thought this was when they were doing the like, this place isn't all it's cracked up to be, right?
Same.
He didn't have enough money, and he was just trying to like find a way to start his life. Then the thing unfurls, and you find out that Dennis is just an absolute bag of dicks, right? Because one, he's like a van guy with this just very protruding belly button. That's not nice to go after physical traits, right? But I feel like it's relevant to mention when he's like, I just want a super hot old lady that I'm not embarrassed to be seen in public with. Yeah. I was like, hey, van guy,
it's a really
chill out on the judgment.
Yeah, he has this really. So he's living out of a van, and like again,
there's nothing wrong with living out of a van.
No, I assumed that it was coming from. I assumed he was living out of a van the way, again, we watched Nomadland this year. I assume that's how those people live out of vans. He's not living out of a van for that reason. He's living out of a van because he literally can't afford a place in the Villages, and he's looking for someone to essentially shack up with.
And I don't even know that it's that he can't afford it, but that he's on the run from a DUI in California, right?
Yes, that costs $20,000 to $30,000 that he doesn't want to pay.
Yeah, and so maybe he just fled here without a plan. And his plan is, I'm gonna just find some old lady that's gonna be so grateful to have the fucking Dennis Dong in her life that I'm just gonna ride her out. And it's this parasitic fucking disgusting thing because you start the film, I really rooted for Dennis. Where I was like, I hope he does find love, man. I don't want this guy living in a van. Like, that's sad, and he seems like a nice guy. Well, then he's like, yeah, I try churches and bars and the pool. And
well, you start that way, but then he immediately opens his mouth and does the, like, yeah, I'm just looking for a woman. I'm not feeling super uncomfortable with on my arms. You're like,
yeah,
okay, you're a
when
piece
he
of
talks
shit.
about how she has to be this epic beauty and that he just wants her to be rich, then they cut to the scene in the pool where you see Dennis watching all of these old ladies come
Which
to the
is
pool.
like a great shot, by the way.
It's a nature. This is impeccably shot, edited. This is a
well done, Dave.
Beautifully crafted film.
Yeah.
But it's like these fucking like nature doc shots, right? Of like the crocs waiting to pick off the old wildebeest. And it's just, he turns into such a sack of shit by the end of it.
Yeah.
And it is weird because you do feel for him, right? But there's a scene that I lost Dennis all the way, right? And it's when he's in the van. He's been busted, right? He's been outed. He can't park at the fucking villages anymore. And so Dennis is outside of this storage unit thing, right? Or maybe in like a van park. And he's calling people, right? People it doesn't seem like he knows that well.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I need help. I need $1,000. I need $3,000. I need a golf cart. And you're like, that's pretty fucking forward. But all right, he's a desperate old man, right?
Yeah.
Maybe when you're that old, you don't have time for the politeness. You just need to survive. All right, I'm with him. When he then tells the guy, well, if you don't give me a golf cart, I think I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
The weaponizing of that threat, it didn't bother me as much in the moment, right? Because you're like, maybe he's at his end of his rope legitimately. But there was a hint, right? I not to say names, but I have some relatives like this where they have used that on me before as a way to try to foist money out of you, because if you don't and they hurt themselves, that would be on your head, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really hard spot to be put in, right? And it's, for some people, it's this very manipulative, terrible tactic. When at the end of the movie, Dennis gets the nice lady who he could have everything with, and he's like, I just need freedom. And he's back in his van. I'm like, you fucking asshole. Yeah. You said you would only kill yourself because you wanted to get money, and you did not honestly have suicidal thoughts. You did not honestly need help, or were not having a mental health crisis.
I think that's the thing that is the most despicable about the guy. And this most despicable thing about his story in general is like, this is a guy who truly pursued everything he could and got what he wanted. And
he had the awesome LeBron lady who seemed perfectly nice.
He got exactly what he was looking for, like from the beginning. Like how
on their dates, they got great shots of him trying to look at other women as he was with her.
They did, and like, but I mean, how often in documentary format do we have movies where people do we have stories where people get what they wanted? Like this guy got exactly what he asked for, and he hated it, and it's just the most it's the most slap in your face narrative thing. You're like, I can't believe you would just say like, nah, I gotta be free, so I'm gonna.
It's not only that he hated it; it's that he had no appreciation for it, and he never wanted it. And this lady, you saw in her mind, she thought that maybe this time Dennis would be the guy, right? Maybe she was lonely and wanted someone, right? And it never crosses his mind that maybe she has an actual feeling attached.
Yeah,
she is an actual way station for him to bring all of his shit. Right? Go out and party in the villages and keep fucking trying to find someone to bring into the pussy wagon. And it's unfucking believable, this guy. Yeah. And I keep trying to find a way. I was like, was I unfairly harsh on Dennis? My wife hated Dennis. Amy hated Dennis with the passion of 1,000 suns, right? She doesn't like that behavior in young men, and it really does not fly with these old men either.
Yeah, no, it's terrible.
And so I kept trying to put myself in his headspace, right? The classic, some kind of heaven shot. Behind the head, looking out at the world of the villages. And I was like, is there something to this man that maybe I'm just missing it? Maybe, and the more I thought, I was like, there's nothing to him at the end of the film. He literally is just this guy who avoids responsibilities, does whatever the fuck he wants, when he wants to, and for him alone, not having a concern about anyone else or how it affects them.
It's a very soulless existence. And I think that's the thing that I took away from Dennis's story is like what he is just it's the truest leech, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the part that is the most frustrating is that this is a guy who could be very genuine. And you want to believe is very genuine. Like at the very beginning when he first meets that woman at the pool and he's like, I'm a handyman. Like, you're like, oh, that's, he's just like playing a game. Like, he's just trying to, he's being a player. By the end, you realize he's just someone who is what he's trying to do is get what he wants without having to deal the consequences of, like,
that scene at the pool is the best because he just starts name dropping people that he worked for, and the old lady just literally goes, I don't care.
I got references. Yeah, that's great. I don't give a shit.
Well, let me ask you an important question about Dennis, who I think we all didn't like that much. I had a hard time imagining what I was supposed to take away from Dennis's story, right? Barb and Anne and Reggie all have this very contemplative, how do people want to end their life's moment?
Right.
I guess you could argue that Dennis presents that, right? That it's still more important to him to have some super hot 80-year-old and a house, and like maybe his didn't feel as contemplative to me.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think that's like...
Maybe more cautionary is the word I would use for Dennis.
I think cautionary is pretty good. I mean, to me, that's what I think all these stories are about. How do you want to end up? Like, what is your pursuit? And I think that's probably the thing that is most prevalent throughout all the stories. Dennis is cautionary, yes, but I do think there is some contemplation in the idea that, like, do you want to end up being someone who can't let go of this, like, sense of freedom that you're somehow missing? Like, to me, this is the ultimate misunderstanding of, like, you and I have both been not only married but together with our wives for many years. Like, the illusion of, like, whatever the loss of freedom is by being in a monogamous relationship for some people. I'm not saying that doesn't work for everybody, but, like, for me personally, I can tell you, like, I've never had this, like, feeling of, like, well, there goes all my awesome freedoms I had before I got married. Like, I think that's like, that to me is the lesson that is coming from Dennis, is like, whatever your assumption of freedom is not freedom, because, like, it's just the other thing you don't have. That's all it is. Dennis's story is about the selfishness that comes with assuming assuming the grass is greener. That's for my taste. That's
a good way to look. He's always trying to one up something, right?
Yeah.
And what it leads to him is just being free in a van and having to make those fucking horrible, threatening calls and shit.
Yeah.
I think that's what I take away from this one, right? There's no, I think maybe that's the lesson of the movie, is that there really isn't a great way to grow old gracefully. There is no fucking fountain of youth. There's no Disneyland in Florida where we can just go and hide from they talk about how they live in a bubble, right? Yeah. Where we can go hide in this magical kingdom and all of this shit gets sorted out and we just have fucking fun all the time. That maybe growing old is always going to be inherently difficult and hard, and that so many of us aren't using our time now to do the things we want to do or be the people we want to be, and that maybe we never get there, and maybe we just have to be okay with that, right? Maybe like Barb, we just need to keep fucking dancing, man. Or
I think that's exactly
hopefully
what it is.
Not like Dennis, we need to just keep trying to sling it, and like I don't. That's the weird thing I would say about this documentary, right? So we watch Active Killing, Fast, Cheap, Out of Control, and How to Survive a Plague coming next week. I feel like every single one of those documentaries, I knew exactly what they wanted to tell me at the end and what I was supposed to kind of like take away.
Right.
I don't know if I really latched on to what the message of this film was. Do you think there was one, or is it just imagine
I think
the end of your story?
I think you said it. I mean, you can write your own ending. That's really kind of like, to me, the sort of, I wouldn't say anonymous nature of it, but like, I guess the way I'd put it is, like you said, I mean, you have to pick your ending. And like, how do you want to end? Do you want to end like Dennis, who's, like kind of abusing his system of people that he can to get what to like as a means
remove
to
the
an
kind
end.
of and say absolutely abusing anyone he comes in contact with.
Not only abusing anyone he comes in contact with, but also like really just pushing everything to the limits of like good taste and like you've been around long enough to know the rules. Or do you want to end like Reggie and Anne, who are like trying to like find the middle ground between each other? Or like, you know, if you have something like what happens with Barb happen, where you lose the one you love, are you willing to start again? Are you willing to try to make that happen for yourself? And I think that to me is what Some Kind of Heaven does for itself as a story, is saying like your ending doesn't necessarily have to be an ending, but your ending doesn't necessarily have to be cut and dry end, but like you can write it and you can choose how to write that ending in this like weird vacation town that doesn't really exist in nature, but just is. It's a very peculiar thing. It's very in flux. I think you kind of have to like decide how you feel about it and then, you know, make your own, draw your own conclusion.
Yeah, I think Barb, it's, you know, learning to love yourself, right? Maybe what's left of yourself, rediscovering new things to love about yourself at that age. I will say this. I felt really sad for Reggie at the end of the movie, which seems odd. Because he was kind of a douche. But I felt sad seeing this weird character just being reduced to another old golfer.
He did sort of become this. It's interesting. It was like this weird body transformation.
And won out. And was that actually good for Reg? Granted, he's not in like old prison jail, you know, fucking turning tricks for $5 of cocaine or whatever the system of monetization is there.
Right.
But yeah, there was something kind of broken about him, it felt like, at the end.
I mean,
that's the question, though. Is that better if you are also giving to someone else? Or
well, yeah, that's like the thing is your relationship worth it enough to subdue, like in this later period of your life, to subdue what's in your nature.
the iron skin Tai Chi warrior reduced to fucking golf shorts.
It's a peculiar thing. It is a very.
I was happy for Anne, and I hope
I was too. But it is a very interesting ending. It is an interesting dichotomy for a relationship. Like, at the very end, do you want to keep up this charade, or do you want to show someone who you really are?
Or was drug sprinkler Reggie the facade? We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah, it was an interesting one, right? Again, it's meditative. Not in the insulting independent movie kind of way. Guys, that's it for Some Kind of Heaven. It's some kind of movie. That's what I know. I like this one a lot, man. I don't know if it came off like that. I really enjoyed.
I thought it was great
spending time with these characters. Right, it's a little different than I thought, but I really liked it a lot. Thank you again, Heath, for selecting all the movies in the Pod Gets Real month. Guys, you can also select movies. Go to patreon.com/Film Alchemist Pod. Film Alchemist is the channel to subscribe to on YouTube. FilmAlchemistPod@gmail.com is the email. You can find us on all the social media you're on. We're there too, and we're easy to get a hold of us. Give us 5-star rating and review wherever you find us. We'll be back next week for the end of the Pod Gets Real month. How to Survive a Plague. Heavy emotional journey, but a fucking awesome movie. So check that one out, guys. For the Film Alchemist, I'm Josh Griffey.
I'm Alex Dean.